back, baby. It's Friday. I don't have a beer. I'm beard out from the last week from the All-Star break. I don't have anything to sit here and sip on, but we're back. It's Friday. MLB Live Lock Show, DFSArmy.com. We got Raz GPT sitting in down there. Now, that's if you like your new nickname. If you'd rather us go back to Razzle, that's fine. It's all up to you. What do you think?
It doesn't matter to me at this point.
You just pretty much will roll with it either way?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Well, you know what? Hopefully everybody's excited. I'll tell you what, second half of the season, first half was great for a lot of people. MLB Live coupon code still down there, 10% off. What's good, everybody? Hopefully we get a lot of people piling in here because today I want to set, it's a Friday. It might be a paycheck Friday for some. It's the first day back for second half. Hopefully people have been jonesing and they're ready. Dixon, tell them to hit the like and subscribe button. And I want to set a personal best today. We got to get over 150. If we can do it, then we definitely need to do it. How owned are the Twinkies going to be? Well, depends on if you're talking about stock in Hostess or if you're talking about the Twins. We're going to dive in. We're going to talk a little bit of weather, a little bit of pitching, a little bit of hitting and whatever else. And like I said today in the email and on Twitter, we'll walk through that cheat sheet today and we'll get everybody teased up real nice for the second half of the season. Are you cool with that?
That works for me.
I figure you're not much to buck the system. But I figure it's a good way to kick off the second half. So let's say, in NFL season's coming, best ball's kicking in. People are starting to talk more and more about football. I think that we're really set up to roll out the last half of the dog days of summer here and hit the ground running come September or whenever the hell NFL Week 1 hits. I'm going to be on my back porch barbecuing ribs and watching Red Zone all day long. So can't wait. It's one of my favorite days of the year. Guys, I was gone all week. I was down in Oklahoma doing a little casino and poker run with my family, doing some pool days, doing some heavy drinking at the pool, playing some poker and whatever. I'm going to ask Razzle what he did. But in the meantime, you guys pile in. Tell me what y'all did this week. Did you take the week off? Did you just work? Were you bored out of your minds? What did you guys do? I'm a sauced ribs guy, Dixon. I like my bones wet, lubricated. Razzle, what'd you do for the break? Did you do anything fun?
I did absolutely nothing.
But was that the goal?
For the most part was the goal. Would have liked to be a little more active, but softball was rained out here because we had a ton of rain this week, and just a lot of time spent inside staring at the wall, pretty much.
Sometimes that's what you need. I don't know about you, but sometimes this week, I know my boy, my youngest kid, we had to go to Oklahoma because they're 18-year-old casinos, and he wanted to play some slots and play. He got bit by the bug when he went to Costa Rica earlier this summer, and we thought, well, then come with us. This trip we already had planned. We said, come on with us. He had a good time, but to be honest with you, he said he was really looking forward to pool days. He's had a busy summer. He was like, I just want to do nothing. So maybe you two could have teamed up this last week. And he was like, I just want to relax. I just want R&R. Oh, let's see. Moist rub for a while. Yeah, Tattoo's got it going on. Tomorrow night, Poker House game is on. Be asking me a bunch of questions. Good. Yeah, DM me, buddy. As for the poker run, we finished actually down $100. It really kind of pissed me off because usually I do play profitable poker, and this time it didn't work out quite that well. Dixon, I watched the All-Star game a little bit. We actually had the worst meal on the entire trip while the All-Star break or All-Star game was going on. We were in a sports bar in Thackerville, Oklahoma, which is just across the Red River from Dallas. And we were in a Dallas Cowboys sports bar, and we ordered $26 New York strips. You get what you pay for, and $29 basted ribs, and it was awful. All of it was terrible, but the game was fine. Did you watch the game, Raz?
I did not watch the actual game. I had something going on that night. Watched all the home run derby though.
I did not see that. Did Cal Raleigh win it?
He did.
It looked like they were kind of celebrating him the most and whatnot, and I couldn't hear from where I was sitting, so I assume that's what that meant.
Yeah, Junior Caminero looked more impressive to me than Cal Raleigh did. Jazz Chisholm shouldn't have been in the home run derby. That's about all I can say about Jazz being in there.
Was he using his torpedo bat?
He was swinging a pool noodle because he hit 3 home runs.
That's not very good. Yeah, that means he didn't make it out of the first round from unless they've changed the format around again. Usually what do you got to get out of that first round? 15, something like that, 13, 15?
I mean, they change the format every year, but I think it was 17 had to advance, but
he only hit 3.
I mean, he just looked like he didn't belong.
Yeah, that probably looks about like me out there. I don't hit the ball far. I don't know about you. I'm assuming you've got a little more thunder in your stick than I do. I do not hit the ball very far. I'm a little Ichiro slap hitter, and now that my wheels are busted, I'm not even fast anymore, so it's kind of frustrating. Let's dive in and look at some weather here in a second. I'm trying to get my tabs up. Sorry for the rust and the delay and whatnot, but we're going to dive probably just into those cheats. Well, here come the cheat sheets. Let's go weather first. We'll come back to the cheat sheets in a minute.
I'm trying to figure out what this news is.
What news are you seeing?
Ketel Marte was put on the restricted list. Restricted list usually has something to do with a suspension of some sort.
Right. I mean, it's almost like PEDs or something, huh?
Just placed on restricted list is all I see.
Could
like Luis Ortiz. Yeah, well, they would say paternity list.
Okay.
Like Luis Ortiz, the pitcher for Cleveland that's being checked for gambling, was put on the restricted list and then the paid something list. But I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it's a mistake and it's supposed to be paternity, but seeing it listed as restricted, I don't really like the sound of that.
Yeah, that sounds like he might be missing for a while. That's where I go. I would either go PEDs or honestly some kind of like domestic abuse charge.
I mean, his home was broken into over the All-Star break while he was gone.
Well, but hopefully he whooped that dude's ass then.
I mean, he was playing in the All-Star game, so
right, so in there.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he's taking care of that, and that's what it is. I don't know, but just the restricted list is just weird.
Tattoos saying personal days. Ivan's saying taking days off because his house got burglarized, taking some personal days. Maybe that's what it's all associated with. They may know. We'll roll with that. Let's do a little weather. Do you see any concerns? I don't. That's a whole lot of green, my man.
No weather concerns for me.
That is a whole lot of green. Let me plug my earbuds in here. I got people just walking the house. Pardon the chaos if it's coming. I don't even think we need to spend any time on this. This doesn't look like much. Do you see I'll just have you actually, I'll back it up with some other stuff. Domination Station, but I'll pull your cheat sheets up here too for people. We can get a little bit of that rolling because you got a lot of pitchers rolling through there. Do you have you've obviously got some favorites. I'll let you kind of take that while I kind of look for some other stuff to queue up for us.
Yeah, I mean, my pitcher pool ended up at 9 pitchers, just slightly more than I prefer, a little less than I thought I was going to end up with. Eliminated a couple guys late, but I mean, Strider is the chalk. It's fine. It's volatile because it's the Yankees, but the Yankees do strike out. I mentioned on the video today that I pointed out that he's around 40% projected ownership this morning. I was probably going to go underweight just slightly. I feel like I can still go, around 30%, feel decent about him and be underweight just in case. Mm-hmm. Problem is I'm not stacking the Yankees, so I'll give one team away that is not in any tier. The Yankees aren't in there.
Take notes, boys. Don't guess Yankees.
I was kind of shocked to see Luis Castillo as highly owned or projected owned. I'm going to use him. I just don't know if he has the same kind of upside.
Right.
He's pretty phenomenal at home with Seattle, so that stands out. I guess my favorite GPP guys are Nick Lodolo, Slade Satoni, and then Tyler Glasnow. Glasnow is going to be popular. Looked pretty solid in his first start off the IL. That was a week and a half ago, though, and it was against the same Milwaukee team. But he did throw 85 pitches right away, so it makes me feel good about seeing 90 to 100. And we just know what kind of upside he has. So, like, when things come together for Glasnow, he racks up strikeouts early and often, and he's not priced at 8K. When he's rolling right, he basically can match like Strider's upside on this slate. So he's one of my favorite guys. Lodolo, just because I'm always glued to Lodolo for whatever reason, but the Mets do struggle against left-handed pitching. Slade Ciccone has really impressed me with Cleveland. The A's aren't striking out as much as they did last year, but they still can strike out quite a bit. So those are my three preferred guys. Strider's up there yet, but then kind of mixing in Lugo at the top, I think, is a safe option for people. He doesn't have the ceiling to match, Strider, Glasnow, some of the other guys, but he's probably going to be one of the safest pitchers on this slate. Him being the most expensive is a little annoying.
Yeah, it's awful.
But I feel like he's probably a guy that you can play cash-wise, just stick him in and feel okay and not worry about it. His projected ownership doesn't scream that he's going to be utilized much, I don't think, in cash even, but I feel like his cash ownership is higher than his GPP ownership tonight. Mm-hmm. Bassett, when pitching at home, has been pretty good, so I'm going to sprinkle him in. Taj Bradley, big upside, but Baltimore obviously can hit home runs against right-handed pitching. And then Sean Manaea, just 65 pitches in his first start. That was a bit of a worry. I think we could see 80 or around 80. So I'm interested just because Cincinnati struggles against left-handed pitching too. And in 3 1/3 in his debut, Manaea struck out 7. So he was pretty sharp from a K number standpoint, but he did throw 65 pitches in 3 1/3 innings. So it might have taken him a little bit to get to those strikeouts, but he still had strikeout stuff. So somebody I want to sprinkle in a little overweight approach.
Who are you most excited about going over on their K props? Like, who do you see hitting their ceiling tonight? Maybe the not safest bet, but I guess the safest bet if you were going to bet a K prop.
I actually think like K prop bet wise, JP Sears at over 3.5. It's heavily juiced over. At least it was. I haven't refreshed in a while, but that does seem a little low. I actually don't mind the K prop for Charlie Morton at 4.5. Tampa Bay has struggled in July. I know it's in Tampa Bay, that ballpark, obviously home runs happen, etc. But that offense has actually struggled a bit in July, and Charlie Morton's been much better since the first month of the season. So I think that K prop at 4.5 seems. I probably think it should be a 5.5 number. Maybe even juiced under, but still, I feel pretty solid about that one. That's kind of it, really, from a K-prop standpoint.
Let's change it up a little bit. Do you see anybody going, say, for 8 to 10 strikeouts?
I think Strider still gets there, but his K-prop's at 7.5. It's tough to go after a K-prop at 7.5. Seems aggressive. Do I think he gets there? Probably. Another one might be Sandy Alcantara. His K-prop's just 3.5. Just the over. He's taking on a team that doesn't strike out that much in Kansas City. But Miami lets him throw 100 pitches. So Like I think he could probably fall into 4Ks in 6 innings and hit the over on that. And if he's sharp from the break, like he's probably a pretty good ladder option. Just because at 3.5, like he has the stuff to show up, and it doesn't take much to hit multiple rungs of a ladder when he's sitting at 3.5.
Yeah, and Tattoo's saying the same thing about Morton, really.
Yeah, Morton certainly. Like there's K upside for him. There's also home run allowed, issues, but
pulled the 2 or 3 weeks ago the reverse prop on Miles Michaelis ladder home runs allowed. You would have made a shit ton of money.
I mean, when it comes to laddering, like I try to find a 3.5 or 4.5 prop because you're not giving up a ton of value by going, with a 4 strikeout, 5 strikeout, or 4 to 7 strikeout ladder, and getting to 5. The way I build mine out, I try to basically break even hitting the first 2. So then, if we get the huge strikeout upside, we really profit.
It's all great.
So that's why I like to aim for those 3.5, 4.5 guys, because we can aim at the 4 and 5 number and feel pretty good. So it just becomes really tough to rely on I know Dylan Cease isn't on the main slate, but his K prop's at 6.5 against Washington. As much as I would love Dylan Cease's K upside, like laddering him, like you have to get to 5 basically, and even playing 5 on his K prop, you're probably doing it at minus 600 or something. I haven't looked at it, but so that's what it makes it tough to go some of those big K guys.
Sure.
You guess right on somebody like that. Strider goes off and strikes out 12 or 13. Well, then yes, it's going to pay off pretty well. But I mean, that's asking for a lot.
Sure. I'm seeing that Ciccone and Strider probably have about maybe the best matchups on the slate or something. I mean, I know they're volatile. They're both actually somewhat. Everything else seems to drop off from there. Like, I mean, unless you see stuff that you're almost as confident in as like a Strider's upside tonight. I mean, you mentioned some of the names, but it looks to me numbers wise like some of them drop off pretty good and would have to be incredibly matchup or splits, dependent, handedness dependent.
I mean, I think Glasnow is the one guy, right? Like, we just never know what Glasnow is going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if he's on his game when he shows up, 8 to 10 strikeouts is definitely an option at this point.
I guess we might as well jump in and do the stacks game. I mean, I see a little bit. You asked about the Twins earlier. I think the Twins are in a decent spot tonight. Detroit, maybe if they can find their offense. Dodgers always. These guys they're okay. When we correlate with implied run total, though, we're looking at. I guess I need to look at the old leverage sheet here real quick. Let me see if I can find that. Pull that up, and then we'll pull this up for people to take a peek at, and then we'll start pulling on your tiers. If I rank by IRT, share the tab. Minnesota, LA, they're up there. Tampa, you said obviously that's always an alert that you've given us in terms of left-handed pitching. Toronto, Arizona, Atlanta, and then golly, Minnesota looks chalky. I mean, it's a big enough slate, but Minnesota looks chalky, and everything else kind of drops off from there. So it that might be one of those. Now, I'm going to ask you this. The way I might play this slate, just right off the top of my head, is I might just fade Minnesota and then not worry about it. Just stack up what I want after that, and just, hey, if it's high IRT teams or high owned teams, so be it. As long as I fade that biggest chunk of chalk. Is that something that you would find viable today, or are you playing a lot of Minnesota and just pairing them with other people that are a little more off the radar?
I mean, I'm playing.
I guess what I'm asking is overweight or underweight Minnesota, really. So I guess what I'm kind of asking.
I think technically I'm probably going to be slightly underweight.
Okay, so you're kind of fading them a little bit too.
I mean, it's
you'll play
108%. That's that's 12% per guy. I can tell you my stack percentage is under 12%.
How many lineups you building tonight?
300.
And you said under 12%?
Yeah.
So you're not even going to have 30 lineups on them, really. Well, 100, yeah, roughly.
It's 28 to 36 lineups probably.
Well, let's ask the boys in the comment room. Do you think that based on that Minnesota's one of his tier 1 teams? Because, it could be. It doesn't really sound like it is. Let's get a small consensus and see if we can pick off Minnesota and put them in tier 2 where they sound like they might fit. You guys tell me if you think he's tier 1 anyway or if you think it's tier 2. Where's Minnesota going to land? We're halfway to personal best, guys. We got to get some people in here. The more we comment in here, the more that algorithm might pick up on us and find some people for us. Twins number 1, Don says. Dodgers is what Tattoo says. Blue Jays. Twins are number 2. I'm with Harlock. Yeah, let's just fire that one off. Let's say the Twins are tier 2. Are we right?
The Twins are tier 2.
Bing. Coming off the break 1 for 1. I like
it. Not necessarily ownership driven. It's more driven the fact that Kyle Freeland doesn't give up home runs at home. Doesn't really give up home runs, period. 1 every 10 innings, basically. But just not a huge home run pitcher. Ballpark itself, not a huge home run ballpark. I've talked about it quite a bit this year. People think that it's just bombs away, and it's not. I'd have to bring up my refresh numbers, but it's bombs away for doubles and triples in that ballpark.
It's a run scoring.
It's runs. Home runs, they are 16th. The ballpark's 16th in baseball. It's 2% below league average for home runs. So, not the park that you think it is. So, but also Minnesota's lineup's just not amazing by any means. I don't feel great about stacking them fully. I do love a couple of bats in that lineup. They're probably my highest owned mini stack team.
Right, mini stack.
I did move them down from tier 1.
Well, that moves us on an opening in tier 1. But before we hit tier 1, I want to hit this DJ question here really quick. Talk me off the Cardinals ledge. Maybe Razzle can talk you off the Cardinals ledge, and I'm a homer, but I cannot. Only because I've got a lot of recency bias, a lot of selective bias right now with Brandon Pfaadt. That dude, the slates that I have considered looking at him, he's been giving up runs. I'm not saying the Cardinals are, the Bronx Bombers or anything like that, but if you look at numbers, and I don't know how old Nilly's numbers are in our Carnage report, but since we're sharing cheat sheets today, I'm not sharing the other tools, but against Pfaadt, he's got a 452 expected WOBA, and he's got a 286 ISO against. That's the highest on the slot. JP Sears is a 353 ISO against, but it's the highest combo of X WOBA and ISO on the slate is Pfaadt. And just on that alone, unless Razzle blows my mind here, which he certainly can, I'm not talking to anybody off Cardinals ledge tonight. Razzle, do you agree, disagree? Where would you be put? Where would you, not what tier necessarily would you rank Cardinals, but where would you put them in terms of how you're playing them tonight? I'm assuming you're going to have a chunk of them.
I do not have any St. Louis Cardinal stacks.
Wow. Okay. Against Pfaadt, reason being?
Obviously something to do with Pfaadt. It's Pfaadt's home splits. He's given up 17 home runs on the season, right? Do you want to guess how many of them have come at home?
2.
3 of them.
Yeah. When you said home splits, I knew it was well under half.
About a K per inning at home. St. Louis is just one of those teams that, like, you have to get a bunch of hits for them to pay off. I don't like it. Like, he's allowed just 2 stolen bases at home, so it's not a ton of base running. Like, I just feel like St. Louis has to probably put together 15 hits to get there, and I'm just not a fan of relying on that, especially on an 11-game slate. A smaller slate maybe, because like they could get there, score 5 runs, and still be a big stack because they have a bunch of guys that get 2 hits or whatever and spread it out. I just think that a lot has to go right for them to get there as a stack tonight. Now, obviously, as I said that, they'll probably hit 3 home runs, and so be it. But like, he just doesn't allow home runs at home. It's 1 every 15 innings at home, basically.
I was just going to say that's set up perfectly for the jinx.
So I will, they just didn't make my group. And it's not because he's walking guys at home either. Like, he is giving up hits. But like I said, like, it's got to be, maybe not 15, maybe it's got to be 12 plus hits for them to have a chance. And I'm willing to take the chance that they're not going to do it on the road is basically
for sure
what it comes down to.
Well, I'm still gonna probably be on them just on those xWOBA and those ISO numbers alone. I'm gonna hope that we get the Razzle jinx tonight. So we will leave that up to DJ as to if he wants to side with me, who's clearly suffering from some home team bias, or Razzle's analytics, and see if it talks him off the ledge. Kevin's asking if the Tigers are tier 1. I'm gonna say they are. Detroit's tier 1 for you tonight?
They're not tier 1.
Are they at least tier 2? They
are not. They just missed tier 2. They're tier 3. I love a couple bats from the Tigers. A lot. Actually, there's 2 core bats that are from the Tigers, and
I'm going to say
Patrick Corbin has done enough to limit getting blown up, I guess. So, and it's tough to rely on the Tigers as a stack because there could be a couple guys that get pinch hit for.
Absolutely.
So it's really hard to rely on them and watch part of your stack just be dead in a bunch of lineups because of a pinch hit. So, I mean, I really love Torkelson and Gleyber Torres. They're 2 of my core bats at this point. Yep. Like, you can see it right there.
That's what had a couple of guys saying they might be tier 1.
But it's really those 2 that I love the most. And
I just showed a sneak peek on accident.
Yeah, so they're more of a favorited mini stack or 2-man side of my run.
Well, let's do the Dodgers.
The Dodgers did make tier 1.
Because that was
there's some reasons for it, obviously. The fact that it's the Dodgers and that offense, and at 46% owned right now, that's 5% per guy. Super low for that kind of offense. They sputtered, going into the All-Star break. So I get it, but like, it's such a veteran team, such a strong team that I really believe in my mind either they're going to come out in the second half or shortly into the second half, they're going to go on an 8 to 12 game winning streak and kind of remind teams of who they are. I think that break did wonders for a team like that. So I just feel like they're going to wake up. Plus, I don't think Quinn Priester is as strong as he's kind of shown with the Brewers. Doesn't really make sense. But he is a reverse splits guy, so like there's a route to seeing some of the Dodgers bets struggle a little bit, but tough to ignore their upside. Even though we only see a 46% total ownership.
So we got Dodgers tier
1. For me,
one.
I'm definitely overweight on them.
And I think Kevin was asking why they're in the cores Detroit-wise. I think you answered that. You've got a couple of bats you really like, but you're a little worried about the upside being pinch hit for.
Yeah, I mean, like individual-wise, they're core. So, like, they're going to be my highest-owned guys at that position, guys that I'm increasing projections for, etc. But five-man stacks are at the bottom. Just because I love two bats doesn't mean I can force myself to love five. Kind of think that a lot of the damage against Corbin could come from those two bats, or include Riley Green, maybe Wenceel Perez or whatever. But there's just some teams that it's tough for me to get to five guys in a group that I really like.
Well, and that goes into the St. Louis Cardinals again. I mean, similar situation. It's hard to run that many bats. An offense that doesn't have that kind of power in it from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's tough to get there. Like, I don't really want to play Matt Vierling and McKinstry and
those guys.
I mean, whoever. I guess you could play Javi Baez or one of their catchers or whatever. But like I mentioned, pinch hit things are going to happen. Parker Meadows is going to come into the game. Colt Keith probably comes into the game. So just a couple spots that I just don't love in that lineup.
Well, I'm going to welcome old Trav in there. He said he made it. What did he miss? I'll tell you what you missed was a little bit of pitch and talk and some. We're guessing the tiers right now. We're guessing the stacked tiers. We've got LA Dodgers in tier 1, Minnesota in tier 2, Detroit down in tier 3, and no St. Louis in those tiers. So if you want to fire in some guesses at who you think might be those top tiers, you've basically been caught up, except Spencer Strider's the chalk, and then of course I've been showing the cheat sheets. I'll actually scroll those back down so you can catch up on the pitching and run through the pitcher pool there while we continue guessing some of those stacks. Guys, keep throwing those guesses out there. We know Tampa Bay is not going to be in there unless we're just being misled by Razzle. You wouldn't be a tease like that. Let's do Toronto. Is Toronto up there?
Toronto is not a tier 1, if that's what you're guessing.
I was. So they're tier 2 then, because you were getting
They are tier 2. I like them. Verlander's still throwing hard, so it's not like he's lost velocity. Toronto went into the break so hot that I'm kind of worried about a break kind of derailing their momentum a little bit. But it's tough to not love the Toronto bats with how they've been swinging it in July.
So kind of a tier 1.5 or like an almost.
They're almost. I mean, they in Minnesota basically could be, tier 1 for a number of people, and I wouldn't argue against it.
Did you say you had 3?
I have 2 in tier 2, tier 1, 3 in tier 2.
Just 2 in tier 1. Okay, so we're down to one more.
Yeah, I just wasn't going to make a 4-team tier 1. Like, I don't think I've ever done that.
So we're looking at Arizona, Atlanta, and the Mets, and he said he wasn't keen on the Mets earlier. So let's take a peeky. Any other guesses? If not, I'm just going to start going top to bottom on leverage stacks. So I'm going to say Arizona, and that's not going to be right. But
Arizona's tier 2.
That's the other tier 2 team. I was going to say St. Louis can implode, man, with the best of them.
I mean, I want to move Arizona down without Ketel Marte, but I might keep them there just because the other options are maybe move Detroit up, which I don't know. I think I'm going to keep them there just because I do like the upside of Corbin Carroll and Suarez and their outfielders. So I'll probably keep them in tier 2, but you could definitely move them to tier 3 without Ketel Marte. Did
Atlanta make your tier list?
Atlanta is tier 3.
Tier 3. So
I don't like
tier 2.
I don't like taking stacks against a true bullpen game.
Just because they can
the
play
Yankees
matchup.
are going true bullpen, allows the managers to do matchup based more. They're using JT Brubaker as a projected long reliever who's been a starter previously, but he's only been going in 1 inning stints so far with the Yankees. So if it's a true bullpen game, so tough to rely on the offense because the manager just gets to dictate matchups.
Mm-hmm. Yep, when you can play a little bit of matchup-based game, it should put a lid on things. I'm going to say no to the Mets, no to Cleveland. We know it's no to St. Louis, no to Colorado. That maybe means Texas or Baltimore is another tier 3 team because I think I want to see if somebody else guesses here really quick before I sit myself out on a limb. Yep, I'm with you, Tattoo. I think that's it. I think Seattle's your other tier 1 team.
They are. Whoever listened to the video this morning probably could have caught on to that from a hint within the video. Because I did mention Brandon Walter, but I talked about how I really liked how some of the bats for Seattle profiled against him. Arozarena has been hot. Raleigh just 16 home runs and like 100 plate appearances against left-handed pitching this year.
Raleigh's just being Raleigh.
J-Rod got hot going into the break. Like I just really like Seattle, and I don't think Brandon Walter's is the guy that he's shown with Houston this year, because in previous years with Boston he just got lit up nonstop. So Seattle's the team that I wanted to slide up there that I figured nobody would really think about from a high tier standpoint, but
yeah, they got by most of us. I mean, it would have taken me a while to get there, but I wasn't going to guess Mets, Cleveland, St. Louis. When I started getting down there, I was like, okay, I know you kind of like Seattle earlier in the year, so I figured maybe you'd go back to them. Where's Baltimore? Are they in tier 3? Or are they not listed?
Baltimore is in tier 3. Taj Bradley has struggled a bit at home, but Baltimore does strike out. They do have power, but there's strikeouts there. So, Gunners just want to, he's a core play, but the rest of that lineup around him is just real questionable.
Yeah. Trav said, I think it's probably Trav Avenue, but Trav said Texas feels sneaky to him. Did Texas make tier 3 for you?
Texas is in tier 3 as well. When I saw that lineup show up with Jonaheim hitting 9th, Higashioka 8th, Rowdy Tellez is now there, which obviously was released by Seattle, but his numbers at the time were similar to J-Rod, so it didn't make sense. The lineup itself looks pretty long and dangerous. They just underperformed so much this year that it's so hard to trust them. But Seager's just still underpriced. Semion's heated up. I think Adalis Garcia might have some decent numbers against Reese Olson. There's some upside to that lineup for sure.
Well, I noticed that Gunnar Henderson's core shortstop, and obviously it doesn't mean that Baltimore is super high on the list. Again, just to reiterate that point, he may like 1 or 2 bats out of those lineups, so that means he's going to like 5 for a stack. That's just another case in point right there on the cheat sheets as we kind of scroll up and down them. How about, unless we left any stacks out that you're kind of thinking might be a little bit sneaky, how about if we talk about those core plays and then we let everybody go build some lineups?
It works. I included the A's just because they're on the road and have a bunch of power. And then Colorado, Paddock can get lit up a little bit. So they actually made the last spot on my 12-team list. I can understand using the 3 other teams I listed on the cheat sheet, Kansas City, the Yankees, even for leverage, Houston. But I pointed out Tovar's returning, hitting 5th, super cheap. His numbers in Coors this year have been really strong. So he's a sneaky shortstop that I like. But yeah, Gunnar Henderson just stands out because he's just really, in the grand scheme of things, is $1,200 too cheap on DraftKings at $4,500. We were just playing Corey Seager the last 3 weeks because he was priced at $4,400 to $4,600, and I think we're just going to do the same thing with Gunnar Henderson until he's back over $5K.
Sounds like a plan. You've got a couple of the stacks you did mention down there at the very, very end there, with the A's and Colorado being included. So, guys, at the bottom of the cheat sheet here, you guys can scroll down in your own time, get some of the key bats out of there with Marte being red from being restricted. when I look down at the outfield's pretty darn deep. You've got a couple of core plays out of there too in Moniak and Rosarena.
Yeah, Mickey Moniak just crushes the ball in course. He's just, I mean, he was the number 1 overall pick years ago, so like he's always had the talent. So as long as they keep throwing him out there when he's at home, I'm going to keep playing him, especially for under 4K. He's in my hand builds. He's been one of my favorite one-offs so far today, just because I end up around 4,400 and under for outfield. So I'm just going to go to Moniak with the way that he's performed.
Then, of course, Rosarena filling out some of those Seattle stacks.
Yeah, he's just been on fire in July. And he just always goes overlooked, which is kind of – I mean, I get it because he's never lived up to that postseason hype with Tampa Bay. But when guys are hot and just keep doing it, I'm going to ride those bats for as long as I can.
Baseball's a momentum sport, man. I mean, it definitely matters. You get on little rolls, you get on streaks, and that is what it is. I see Shohei Ohtani at the bottom of your list there, and I wanted to mention one thing, if I can pull it up here really quickly on my own phone. He's got a discounted prize, draft picks, prize picks, none of those. DraftKings Pick 6. That is the site, if you guys don't have a sports betting legal state, and you can play Pick 6, he's priced at 0.5 plate appearances, and they're only obviously giving you the over. He'll probably hit that tonight. He becomes an easy one to turn a 2 or 3-handed ticket in with. And so if anybody plays Pick 6, I know that Madness tweeted that out earlier today. I would recommend you guys run out there and grab kind of what becomes a free 2-pick or 3. Like you only got to hit 2 out of 3, if you pick 3 bats, and you only got to hit, 1 out of 2, kind of a 50-50 proposition almost for a 4X, 2.5X, 4X type win on the Pick 6 format. So play those boosted things. When you find those discounts, play them. And of course, when you get the opportunity to get into DFS Army as a discount for the MLB Live coupon code, 10% off, you're going to want to use that as well. Because again, just paying full price, whether it's sports betting or DFS or whatever, it doesn't make any sense. Take a quick stand here. You got Gleyber Torres and Spencer Torkelson. You talked about them today too, so that covers your core. You got everybody else. I think we covered it, brother. Unless we got some final questions coming in. You can see the purple note over here. Could use KC, New York, Houston in this spot. Tovar's just too cheap. Loves hitting in course. Final home run calls. Tat wants some home run calls. You got a couple for him? Cedric Mullins is his bong hit, but his bong pick to click.
Man, I don't know if I have any off the wall guys. Eugenio Suarez destroying it in July, and Payante has been a little bit of a reverse splits power guy. Which is weird. But I like that spot for Suarez. Torkelson's my favorite call. Nick Kurtz just keeps hitting home runs too for the A's. And I do kind of like Corbin Carroll too, even though it's a lefty against Payante. Went into the All-Star break struggling, homered in the All-Star game. I think he could come out in the second half and just start out on fire again. There are a lot of the guys that limped into the All-Star break are guys that I really think we want to target because I think breaks help clear their mind. Even though Carroll didn't get a full break because he was at the All-Star game, etc. It's still a way to clear their mind and get fresh.
It did me. I'm fresh. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to go, but just because not like I enjoyed and rested up over the break. I wouldn't doubt Ryan O'Hearn could go deep. He kind of seemed like he coasted in the All-Star break, though. Like, overachieved a bit in the first half, coasted in. But he is one of the guys that I've rostered a lot this season.
He's been cheap.
Probably more when he had first base outfield eligibility on DK. Now he's just first base only. But yeah, he was always cheap enough. Like just always one of those guys in the mid 3Ks that I seem to be left with as a one-off, and he worked out. I mean, Strider could definitely get blown up by the Yanks left-handed bats, but he also could strike out 14, and I wouldn't be shocked against this Yankees team. I mean, Bellinger's done a pretty good job of cutting down his strikeouts, but he could strike Jazz out 4 times, and I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I guess I'd be shocked because I don't think he'll face a guy 4 times, but you could probably strike him out 3 times. Dominguez can strike out plenty. Grisham can. I haven't even noticed the Yankees lineup to be exact. But I assume like Stanton might not be in it. I don't bring that up because somebody always has to sit for the Yankees now. Let's look.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at that too.
Yeah, Stanton's sitting. So I mean, Volpe probably a strong bet to strike out 2+ times against Strider. Yorvi Vivas is hitting 9th. Ben Rice can strike out plenty too. No Goldschmidt in the lineup. There are definitely more Ks in the lineup without Goldschmidt, and now without DJ LeMahieu. So there are strikeouts there. Now, could they hit 3-4 home runs? I could see it happening. I just don't think Strider's going to give up many games with 3 home runs. I know he did against Arizona earlier this year, but I don't know. It's tough. Like I can see upside for both sides of it. I'm playing the Yankees more of mini stack. You know, Judge gets to him. Cody Bellinger. Those would be my 2 preferred guys for sure. And Tattoo's pointing it out. Like over the last month, the Yankees bats have actually struggled.
We were off of them for the longest time in June too.
No, obviously I did talk about teams that struggled into the break, coming out a little bit refreshed, and that certainly could be the case here. But a pitcher like Strider coming back from injury, like that break could also help refresh him too. Mm-hmm. And he's, the most talented pitcher going today. Not every team's running out their ace.
Well, one thing I'll point out is I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that Palante was a major ground ball pitcher. But, of course, since I said that, he's been giving up some long fly balls, which is a bit interesting on short sample for him, but not that he has the largest sample in a major league pitcher anyway. Would you look at Don's lineup? So it's fitting that you've got a couple of guys from Arizona is what I'm kind of getting at. But would you look at Don's lineup really quick there? I mean, it's obviously a tournament-built lineup, and he's got Milwaukee bats sitting in there too, which you didn't list too highly on your list.
I mean, I don't expect Andrew Vaughn. I don't expect Andrew Vaughn to be in the lineup. I know he's been hot, but they still have stuck to a pretty solid, strict platoon. Basically, him versus left-handed pitching and Jake Bauers versus right-handed pitching. So I just don't think he's going to be in the lineup against Glasnow. I rarely play Terang just because, like, he had been too expensive for the type of player that he is. I can get behind the idea of stacking the Brewers against Glasnow because he can struggle a little bit, but that Dodgers bullpen is generally pretty solid. Like I like the 2-man stack, Yelich and Kyrgios. Like that would be the way I would go, and try to turn the other group into a full 5-man Toronto stack. Yeah. But
what do you feel with Strider and Ciccone? I'm assuming.
I definitely like them. I'm overweight on Ciccone. I'm slightly underweight on Strider, but that's just because he's so popular.
I like it with the strike up upside off the Carnes report for sure. But I do think that it is a volatile way to go, which again, on 11 game slate, you're going to need that stuff to happen, and happen on the good side to get deep into those big field tournaments. I don't know I've got a special, again, NFL season's coming. We're less than 10 weeks, less than 9 weeks away, even less than that. It's time to start thinking that. So I've got an outro video everybody can sit and watch. It's kind of a flash from the past or flashback. We'll do that when we play ourselves out. Any other final words of wisdom, Razzle, so we can get out and build our lineups? I think we covered it all.
I got very limited words to say other than let's take something down to start out second half.
No shit, man. I am with you there. Well, with that end going, I'm going to go start building my lineups as well. You guys, I'll see you all, like I say, just underneath me on the leaderboard. So it's a good place to be for me. But everybody, let's helmets up. Let's go win some money. I'm going to hit the end stream button and send it in, but take a look at this outro video, a couple years old, but it's a good one. Razzle, I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
Sounds good.
All right. Later, everybody.
Oh, shit. It's Chief ST, a.k.a. The Geek, and Kenyon McGee, DFS Army, Players Club VIP. Motherfuckers, let's do this. Yo, me and my homies, we're tighter than a glove. We chop a lot of game, how we do it at the Players Club.
It's awesome.
Kick it in the tub, cause we kick much ass at the Players Club. It's time to kick it with the Army crew. VIP, you know how we do. Gonna smash the cop, make them look like bitches. In our pocket, we'll possess mad riches. Winning cash is our forte. When we smash a daily fantasy, gather that cream, gonna get a tune. Living that dream, drinking Blue Moon. Yo, we make lineups differentiate between cash and GPT where we correlate. Ask me about the lineup, I'll say it looks great. All about that love, I ain't trying to hate. Yo, people ask what Bobby Wow would do. Fade the chalk, I unfriend you.